Hello everyone. Here I'm just going to show you how to use the simple extension core. That's just basically the basic. I'll have separate videos for Dialog, Melee, and Pause UI. For now, I'm just going to go over some of the modifications or the extensions that simple extensions core does. So there is the spot tooltip. It's pretty much like the spot text, but instead of replacing a text, it replaces an image. There's a couple of properties pretty handy to show current FPS as a string or the quality settings as a string. Again, I'll show you how to do this part. I don't have a concrete example on how to use pick next and pick previews, but I can show you basically how to get to them in case that you find useful some use for them. The inputs, the only one that would require some special setup would probably be the secondary motion ML. And that's mostly for just some mouse control for the camera. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory, and I'll show you how to use them as well. As for components, the components are just something that you can add directly to um, stuff so that they can be used with the rest of the extensions. Billboard can actually be used on its own if you so choose, and that is mostly so you can have billboards on your game. Then there is the unit players, which I think is the main attraction here, mostly so that less coding or less visual scripting would be needed to extend the player. So without further ado, then I am going to get started, and I'm going to start first with the unit players. So for that, I'm going to create here a plane. I'm going to make this plane a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it into the center. F to go where that is, and on here demo, I'm going to create a material. I'm going to make the material just a shade of green that kind of looks like a floor, like that. And I'm just gonna make this small. Ooh, what did I do there? All right, I'm gonna call this floor, and I'm just gonna drag and drop it there. Perfect. uh, Maybe it's there. We go, that's better. All right, so I'm gonna create first a character player. All right, he's there. And then I'm gonna create a camera shot. Perfect. I'm going to set this camera shot to third person. All right. I'm going to go to the camera, and I'm going to make this, yeah, perfect. I have it to clip in so it doesn't look as ugly. And can I control the sensitivity of these? Yeah, I don't want it to be so sensitive. Can I make it 1 perhaps? We'll see what happens with that. All right, so I'm going to click play, and this is basically what you're used to with uh, Game Creator 2. So I cannot jump, I cannot interact. All right, now I'm going to change the player's primary unit, the controller unit, to be directional alternative. This is actually part of the simple core extension. So you can see here that it added jump and interact. So I can show you how jump works right now. For interact, I'm going to have to create an object to interact with. So first, I'm just going to go in, and again, I didn't add any extra logic or anything like that to Visual Scripting, but now I can jump. You can see that here. All right, that's essentially what this does. Is just adds the jump and interact directly to the player. Now let's jump ahead to the next unit. You know what? Let's continue with this unit. I'm just going to showcase the spot right away. Might be a little bit more cohesive like that. So I'm going to create a cube. I'm going to put the cube in here. So under the cube, I'm going to create a canvas with where's actually I don't think I have that as part of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a canvas first. The canvas is going to be world space. I'm going to make this in the 0, 0 position. Let's put this as 100 by 100 on 0.01 size. Let's make this here. Perfect. So make this a little bit bigger perhaps. Actually, no, that should be perfectly fine. Okay. Now, under this canvas, I am going to add an empty, and I'm going to call it image tool tip. And on here, I'm going to look for image tooltip, which is, or you can just go to components and drag and drop the image tooltip. So all it does is that it adds this. So you can see it's just a regular, boring, plain old square. And out of this canvas, I'm just going to make a prefab. I'm going to call this prefab image tooltip. Okay, and I'm just going to delete it out of here. Perfect. So on the cube, I'm going to add a not a trigger, a hotspot. And on the hotspot, I'm going to go to add hotspot and UI and show image tooltip. Now I'm going to drag and drop the tooltip here, but then for the image, I'm going to choose something like this iron or I'm not sure how to call it. I'm going to show it a little bit offset to up. Okay, I'm gonna make this about 3 in size. Yeah, perfect. So that's a little bit better. So it only show if I get close. On top of that, for this cube, I'm also gonna add a trigger. Where are you, triggers? There we go. So that it says when interact with by player, I'm just gonna show a debug log message. I choose you cube. There we go. So it'll show up here on the console. So if I hit on play again, this is going to show two things. This is going to show the image tooltip, which is part of the simple extensions core, and it's also going to show the players interact again without any other logic under the player or anywhere else. So if I click on play and Unity not crash, if I get close, it's going to show me the iron bars because that's what we assign. It automatically adds some billboard effect, and if I get too close and I hit E, now you get I choose you cube right here on the console. You can obviously have it make more things like pick up or destroy or something like that. I just wanted to have this quick reference in there. And that's pretty much what it does. So as I get away, it changes that. So that is pretty handy for showing an image that is maybe related to a different text. So you can combine the UI with something else. And I do need to fix this. It's really ugly that it shows this. I will have to fix this. I'll probably provide an update on this fairly soon. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to show was the other player. So for that, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to go to the event system and make sure that this is set to the new event system. I'm going to add another canvas, but this canvas is actually going to be a screen overlay. I like to set this with a specific size in mind so that it makes it easier for me to accommodate my UI and make it match the height, so that way if somebody's using a widescreen, they can still get the whole experience of the UI. That's just me. It's not something that everybody would need to do. All right, so I'm gonna go here into game mode so I know where I'm gonna add an image. So I'm gonna add here a quick image, and I'm gonna move it over to the side, maybe a little bit towards the bottom there. Yeah, it should be fine. So 350 by -80. Excellent. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, 200 by 200. Excellent. Okay, so what I'm gonna show here is the following. So on the player, I'm gonna change it to point and click, just the one that we all know and love. I'm gonna click on play, and if I click, oh, actually I should probably remove these camera systems. So I'm just gonna go like this, maybe a little bit higher there. Perfect. I'm going to go to the camera shot. I'm going to do Shift Control F to bring the camera shot to that location. And I'm going to change the to fixed position. Perfect. So now it's going to do what I want it to. It's just going to show me from up here basically where I can go. So if I click anywhere, it'll go there even if it's under a UI, which I find annoying, to be honest. I don't want, if I have a button here, I want to be able to click on the button without the character moving. So for that, what I did on the point and click alternative is to have a little option for pass-through. So currently the pass-through option is set to false. So if I come over here and then I click anywhere here, it'll still move, but if I click under this square, it will not go there. Now I can still change this to true, and you can probably set this to some sort of property or variable or something where it will be able to change that on the fly. So if you cross over and it's a button, then set the pass-through to false, but if it's a UI that is supposed to be transparent, then you can set it to true and it'll let you click through that. So it's pretty handy with stuff like that, especially for games that require that pass-through UI. This is something that I needed it for my last game jam, so that's why I created. Pretty much the whole reason why I created all of this is because at some point I had a need for it. All right, so that shows both unit players, shows the image tooltip component. Billboard, again, it's built into that spot. You can use it on its own if you want. It's not really anything out of the ordinary. It's just essentially just a billboard. That's all it is. All right, so for inputs, this is actually pretty quick and easy to show. So I'm going to go back to my directional alternative and I'm going to change the camera shot to be third person. So for the specific value vector secondary motion, I'm going to change the rotation for the third person to be usage secondary motion with options. So currently with always it's going to behave exactly like the secondary motion would work, but I can change it so that it's middle click, right click to move. So if I go middle click, for example, and I click on play here, you can see that as I move the mouse, nothing happens. But if I middle click on my mouse, now it can move around. So that's it's pretty handy for if you want to have like a game where you're following the character and if you move the mouse, nothing happens until you like press a specific button, because you can still use the mouse to like click on stuff. Could be useful. Again, at some point I had a need for it, therefore I created it. So yeah, use wisely, I would say. All right, so what else? Pick list. Okay, so this one is something that, to be quite honest, I am not 100% sure where I needed it, but I know I did. So the way it works is, for example, let's say that you want to have a string here, and I want to do, actually, let's first create list of items here. So game creator, variables, list. Let's add a string, and let's add a couple here. So this one is hello world game creator is awesome. All right, so in the trigger, I'm going to change this to be variable global list. I'm going to bring this over. Instead of being the first element, is going to be just pick next. It's always going to be the next and the next element. So if I come over here, we're going to focus here on the console, because as I approach the cube, if I hit E, it says hello world. Then let me just make this bigger here. So hello world, game creator is awesome. Hello world, game creator is awesome. So it picks the next item on the list as I go. So it's pretty handy when you need to do something where you need to pick like the next item on that list, not just a random or specific index. So it can be useful, and you can do pick previous as well, so you can just go backwards from where you are. Okay, that's a very simple use for it, but I'm sure somebody can figure out a much more elegant use of that. So next would be properties, and this is the one that I'm actually pretty excited about. So I'm gonna go back to this canvas. I'm gonna go here so it makes it easier for me to see where I am. I'm gonna add UI text. So in here, this UI text, I am gonna make this a little bit bigger. So 320 by 100, why not? I'm gonna type something in here just so I know where I am. I'm gonna make this 90, there we go. I'm gonna make this maybe a bright red color, yes, perfect. I'm gonna clamp this to the top, so Shift Control will clamp it here, and then Shift Alt will actually move it there to that location. Now I'm gonna say that this is there, perfect, and then I'm gonna offset it by 30. Actually, that would be minus 30, and then 30 again, minus 30. Perfect. So on the string here, I'm gonna show the FPS first. So if I click on that, I go to settings, and I current FPS currently shows 0, but the moment I click on play, it should show me the current FPS. So again, use carefully. I do not know how performant impacting it is. On the few little demos that I've created for myself, it hasn't been a problem. But then again, I have a 3080 and my laptop has a 3060, so it's probably not going to be an issue there. But in systems where performance may be more of a thing, it could potentially be a problem. This is the actual logic that it's executing. If you can come up with a better FPS, I take requests with the specific algorithm that you want to implement if it works better. So yeah, welcome to contribute to the GitHub repository. The other item that I wanted to show was the current quality settings. So this is something else that I'm very happy to have, mostly because when you create settings, you want to show what the current quality is without having to change it, or when you change it to actually reflect that change immediately into a specific label. So if I go here, it shows me ultra, which is what's currently selected. So if I go to the project, go to quality, and then set medium, high, it selects it, or very low, or very high. So it not only changes the actual parameters there, but it also changes the label itself. So again, pretty handy for when you're creating some sort of customized settings, like a POS environment. And again, I'll probably be using that for my simple UI example on how to create a very simple POS with some settings in it. And spots, we already talked about spots, so I believe that's it. Please let me know what you think of these simple extensions. If there's anything that GC, like Game Creator, doesn't already do, and it's not something that can be easily added by publishing hub extensions, like actions, conditions, or triggers to the hub, then I'll be happy to figure out a way to add it to the simple extensions and maybe add it. I do hope that some of these eventually do make it into the Game Creator, but some of these may not actually be fit to just go there by default anyway. All right, thank you for watching, and have fun.